Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sluglady Plays, and welcome to Carnival. The demo. So I wanted to play something for Spooky Month, and this popped up on my feed a month ago. I've been told that it's like Eldritch horror, but with, like... And now I'm forgetting the stuff I read. If you've ever seen The Last Door, it's been compared to that. I would almost say it's compared to, at least what I've seen from the trailer, it makes me think a lot of The Wicker Man. So make of that what you will. But this actually takes place in Venice. And I have been to Venice, so I may kind of like fan out about certain places. But anyway, let's get started. Let's see what this is about. The water is brackish, cold as the grave. There was nothing in the distance, no visual marker to give me any idea of the scale of the gentle waves that surround me.
What will you eat?
Who's there?
What will you eat?
Show yourself.
What will you eat?
The dream was gone as quickly as it had come. The lagoon slid past, its swirling waters no doubt influencing my sleep. My destination, Venice, lay ahead. The lights of the city twinkled like pearl, a tiara nestled over the black velvet. It was a strange and unique city, as everyone knew, but laid out as if it was against the oppressive clouds. It reminded me less of a metropolis, there we go, and more of a gargantuan creature surfacing from the depths, casting about itself with a multitude of tiny glittering eyes. That's a really cool description, actually. Charlotte's letter still lay on my lap. I do not wish to hurt you, but I must look to the future rather than the past. The world is changing, and the spirit of it has embraced me. No more. No more today. February 13th, 1933. Move your mouse to the top of the screen to reveal your inventory. Left to interact. Platform was relatively quiet. Would have no doubt been different if the famous Venetian Carnival hadn't been banned by Mussolini when he had consolidated power. It's traditionally started in February, ending on Shrove Tuesday. Even though the tradition had already been dealt a blow when the Austrian king outlawed the celebration and masks in 1797, it's still been there below the surface, bubbling up within the 19th century in private engagements in artistic communes, and had apparently been a fascinating glimpse into the Middle Ages and Baroque Renaissance. Now, Venetian masks were simply decoration, a historical curiosity. I know, I have multiple. There were still celebrations of a sort within Italy, but they had soured edges to them, such as the distinctly anti-Slavic Festa della Tre Marie. Hope I got that right, which had become little more than a mishmash of ancient tradition and current political thinking, as seen through the skewed lens of Mussolini's National Fascist Party. All very interesting, but for me, there was a different story to write. First things first, I need to call my contract, then I can get to work. So, This is more kind of the games that I'm used to playing. Point-and-click adventure games. If you've looked at my channel, you'll notice that I play a lot of point-and-click adventure games. Now let's see. What's that? It had been a very comfortable journey. There was no need to get back on the train yet. There was a story to write. Okay. Hungry worker. I'm new to the city. Do you have any sightseeing recommendations? You should go visit the Plaza San Marco. It is the heart of Venice. To be honest, the whole city is beautiful. Even I could appreciate it. He spat on the ground and wiped his nose on his sleeve. I tried to hide my disgust. Thank you. I appreciate your advice. Are you on your break? Yeah, is that a crime? Have a good day. Thank you. Hope I will. I don't know what accent that was supposed to be. What's this? I picked up a flyer. Let's see. It was a flyer of Mussolini. On the back was written a quote. Remaner... Oh, hang on. Exit. Hang on. There we go. Stupid trigger finger. Sorry about that. Rimaner Buna Tetela Vita Queso della Misura, etc., etc. In English, remaining good all your life, this is the measure of a true quality of a soul. An interesting quote for a man who ruled through violence and coercive power, though perhaps that was an opinion best kept to myself. What else do we have here? We have a notebook. My notebook. Don't go anywhere without it. And clump of wet papers. My documents had been stuck together somehow as if they got wet. How did this happen? I need to pull the papers apart carefully with something sharp. I don't want any of them to be damaged. Okay, let's see. We have 2 gentlemen here. There is no need to disturb them. Well, then why give me the option? Station master. Excuse me, senor? Wait, senor. Okay. The station seems quiet today. You have now cursed it. I'll probably have 100 tourists to process in the next express. The man made a cross over his chest. He seemed a very trivial thing to bother God with. Can I leave? If you show the valid ticket. Why would I travel without a ticket? You would be surprised, senor. A great many have tried to defraud the railways nowadays. Bolsheviks, most likely. They like to think the laws don't apply to them. Awesome! Have a good day, senor. Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be some racism involved. I wasn't about to start talking to myself. I didn't carry a mirror. Look deep in conversation. Okay, so can I just... Oh, wait. The tickets are stuck together with the other paper, isn't it? Oh, he has a knife. May I borrow your knife? As long as you take the blade to the station master. Can't stand his attitude. I can't. Relax, senor. I'm joking. Is that senor? That's not signore. That's not senor. I know it's not. Give me a second.
Signore.
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 Signore. Alright, signore. We're gonna go with that. And hopefully I don't offend a bunch of people. I'll stab him myself later. Ha! Okay, so, first puzzle. Have a good day. Combine that with the wet papers. I teased the papers apart, and thankfully they were undamaged. Awesome! Now we have the list of contacts, the last letter, train ticket. Does he want the knife back? I guess not. Alright, let's see here. Have a good day. Alright, let's look at this letter. The last letter I ever received from Charlotte. I couldn't bear to read it right now. Okay. List of contacts. I need to get settled before I even thought about getting to work. I was exhausted. Okay. So let's take this and give it to the station master. Ah, very good, sir. Please, enjoy your time in Venice. Thank you, I will. Okay. So I can leave. Now, it was a Furro something dello strato Italian class. I'm not going to read all the words because I know I'm going to butcher them. The biggest engine, class 746, biggest engine ever built. Alright, so I've already seen your ticket, please move along. Okay, where do I move to? And do I need to use the telephone? A public telephone, newly installed from the look of the varnish. Do I need to use it? I wasn't about to start talking to myself. No, I mean this. Do you need to use the telephone? I called the number I had been given. Oh. There was no answer. I slammed the phone into the receiver and ground my teeth. Perhaps the man had already set off and was simply running late. Or perhaps this contact was another charlatan. At least the fool in Rome had shown up. I decided to exit the station and take in some of the sights while I was waiting. Okay, can I leave? Yes. I had no further need for the knife, so I gave it back to the owner. Okay, so he does want it back. Aren't we a nice person? Thank you, Signore. Enjoy Venice. St. Lucia Station. Santa Lucia Station looked out over the Grand Canal and had originally been built in the site of a former convent and church by the Austrian Empire. Mussolini was reportedly going to redesign it in his favored modernist style, and had asked famous rationalist architect Angelo Mazzoni to develop the plans. Mussolini had said, "Inactivity is death." It seems that there was no stopping progress, but I had come to Venice to see if that was the opinion of the people. Oh. Gondolas. Perhaps I would take a gondola ride tomorrow after a good rest. Gondolas were pure Venetian charm, long, slender boats with flat bottoms to allow travel through the shallow lagoon waters. Okay, exit to the city, I guess. I don't think there's anything else I need to... Oh. Hello. The mannequin was huge, around 6.5 feet tall. The mask was imposing. The eyes were inky caverns. Was the mannequin covered in black cloth? Signore. Signore Maynard. Maynard. Okay. The man's voice was a cracked baritone. Okay, wrong voice. His face glowed in the light from the shop front. A good journey? Indeed, although the train arrived late, 10 minutes. Is that so? I expect it was only you that noticed. I would hope not. You must be... Oh, you must be Signor Nataro. Notaro. It was a pleasure to meet you. Likewise, Signor. Please, call me Ardunio. Ardu... This is gonna be a long game. Come to my house. Come, my house is not far. You do not even have to cross the Grand Canal. Well, I say my house as if I was the owner, but there are others there. It is an apartmento, you know? He seemed to possess a nervous energy that stood on the edge between excitement and panic. This fog really carries a chill. It is February. What do you expect, my friend? Come, we will soon warm up with the Venetian hospitality. With some Venetian hospitality. Maybe I can pour you a spritz as we sit near the fire. Perhaps. I must admit, I am exhausted. I may have an early night. Your choice, of course. The streets seem quiet. Yes, but the edges are always quieter. They heart beats loudest in the center, yes? I suppose. It is strange not to hear any cars. There is only the rail bridge, Signor Maynard. The bridge and the boats. The gondola, you know? The bridge and the boats, the gondola, you know? It allows us to hear the water. I must admit, it makes a welcome change to London. Venice is its own beast, Signor Maynard. You will not find anywhere quite like it in the world. This mask is curious, very distinctive. Ah, yes, the Botta, the oldest of the Venetian masks. From last century? Ha! Try the 13th century, Signor Maynard. The Botta proper is actually the hood. The mask itself is simply called the face. Fascinating. Come, there'll be time enough to browse the mask shops tomorrow. Let's head back before it gets dark. Let's go. Excellent. Onwards. It is here the red door, Signor Maynard. The 4-story set of apartments was precariously leaning to the right to the extent that it was almost touching the next building. And your apartment is on the ground floor, Mr. Maynard. No need to worry. In any case, the leaning of the building is not so noticeable inside, I assure you. The magic of Venice. My head swam as I looked up at the teetering building. Is it Ardino or Arduino? Looked up in my eyes. I think you need a rest, my friend. Yes. The room was warm enough. Well insulated from the cold. I felt my eyes drifting again, the eyelids closing ever slower. I needed to rest. Let's take a look around first. What's this? Metal dustpan. The battered old metal dustpan. Suitcase. Leather suitcase had served me well for many years. It had been a gift from Charlotte. Plain vase. Oh. Painting of a nobleman. Drawers. Drawers slightly ajar. Let's open it. Filled with knickknacks. Decided to take the matches, they seemed useful. Perfect. Close that. Okay, so it's just opening and closing the one. Candle looked like it was made of tallow rather than wax. Okay. Neatly made, comfortable looking bed. Alright, let's go to sleep. I need to rest, but only for a moment. The chair would be better. Okay. That's super uncomfortable, but okay. Perhaps all I need was to sit down. Maybe then... I awoke in an unfamiliar room. This didn't alarm me. My condition often led to the difficulty of my short-term memory after a moment. I just needed to orient myself. I found a note in my pocket. Yes, I think I was headed to Venice. There was a story, but who was I here to meet? I couldn't see in the gloom. I needed some light. Yeah, so this is actually another part of the game. See, our character suffers from narcolepsy in a horror game. With the candle, I could now see the note in my pocket. A game would help. It always did. The mental exercise would drag my memories back into focus. The name was Italian, but what was the name's origin? Primary contact in Venice. Let's see. What are these? Ardi Uno Nataro. What does this name mean in Italian? How am I supposed to know? Not nautical nobility, notary. Notaro. Arduino. Nobility? No, I don't think so. Nautical? Is it going to be notary? Yes, of course. Notary and notaro were both from a classic Italian root, notaris, from nota, meaning mark or sign. I felt my memories seeping back. Yes, I had met Arduino. Arduino. Okay, so I was getting close. I was getting there. Arduino. This was his house, a quaint apartmento on the outer edge of Venice. I would have a busy day tomorrow. I needed to get some sleep. Seemed that was all I did recently. February 14th, 1933. A good sleep? Yes, as good as can be expected. I'm sorry, your meaning? Was the bed not good? Oh, the bed was quite comfortable. I have a condition. Narcolepsy. I'm sorry I do not know this. A sleeping condition. You may find I drift off when we are talking from time to time. Drift? Like water? No, I may lose concentration. Please just say my name and I should come back. As you wish. You can speak Italian if you wish. I understand most words. Nonsense. I welcome a chance to speak English again. It is good to stretch my mind. You like cream in the coffee? I'm sorry I couldn't get any English tea. No cream, thank you. To tell you the truth, I've never been a fan of tea. It was a white lie. I was hoping that I could find a way to relax the man. His hand had shook as he poured the coffee, and the smile he was wearing seemed more of a rictus than actual contentedness. Quite a selection of food. Is this normal Venetian fare? I found myself arranging the cutlery into lines, as I did at home. I slid my hand back onto my leg to try and halt the action. It had always infuriated Charlotte, along with many of my other habits, plucking wayward hairs and eyelashes, checking the time at regular intervals, fastidious neatness, and the criticism of her that came with it. She had tolerated it all, to an extent, but nothing lasted forever. It is probably more extravagant than most, but food is my passion. I like to try new things, change my routine. Some of these meats were imported, salted in Bavaria. Oh, I missed it. I double-clicked. It looks excellent. Won't you try some? I'm never especially hungry in the morning. Ah, I see. He sighed, looking into the middle distance for a moment before taking a deep breath and turning his attention back to me. So let us talk of Venice. You are here because of the new road, see? I must say, it will be hard to spend a lot of time with people over the next few days. It is a busy time. I explained as much to the man, Signore Dawson. He insisted, though, so here you are. Here I am. I lifted my coffee cup in salute. Arduino didn't return the gesture, instead looking me in the eye. You don't have to stay, you know. Part of a smile still lingered, though it was visibly cracking. I hope this is not inconvenience. No, of course not. You're welcome for as long as you wish to remain. Excellent. I was wondering if I could start my story with interviewing you. Shall we get the ball rolling? Ball? Sorry, it's a British saying. It simply means get started. Ah, I have not heard this. Of course, my friend, ask your questions. I really hope I'm not going in and out of a Italian accent, because I'm trying not to do accents, because I'm bad at them. I'm just trying to change up the voice a bit. Very well. Have you lived in Venice all your life? From first breath, Signor Maynard. You won't find a more devout Venetian in the city. I see. And has the city changed much in your time here? Changed? In what way? Well, the most obvious example would be the regime change. Mussolini is, in some people's eyes, quite the forward thinker. Others call him a despot. Surely the change in government has been felt here. Venice will always be Venice. I cannot speak for the rest of Italy, but there are certain things about Venice that will never change. Such as? The water. Venetians are born above the waves. It is our blood. We also value life. We celebrate. We know how to enjoy. These things are important, no matter what. I Doge may say? I Doge? How does Venice compare in your eyes to the rest of Italy? I wouldn't know. I have never left. You never left the Veneto region, or Venice? I have never left the lagoon. Interesting. Why is that? This man smiled widely. Why would I? What is out there that isn't here? Italy is a wonderful country. Surely it is a privilege to live in such a vibrant place. I am privileged to be Venetian, not Italian. The man pursed his lips tightly. You clearly have pride in your heritage. Just so. What is your reaction to the road bridge that will be completed next year, linking Venice to Mestre? See, I don't know any Venetian history, so I don't know if this road is actually a real thing or not. I do not like the idea. He sniffed. Getting detailed answers out of the man was difficult. Why is that? Because change is not necessary. But surely the economic benefits of a strong argument for the road... But surely the economic benefits are a strong argument for the road bridge being the future of the city. Mr. Maynard, please don't take my words in the wrong manner. His style of speaking English was precise, but some of his sentences seemed alien in their formation. I am no fool. I can see the reasoning for the roads, and money. I am sure that some of the younger Venetians would appreciate the idea, but I simply do not want the change. That is as simple as I can state it. If you dilute a fine wine with water, it becomes lost. Sometimes being contained is a blessing. Mussolini can go to hell. A risky sentiment in these times, but perhaps Ardinio was too old to care. Ardinio leaned back into his seat and sighed, suddenly seeming a lot older than he had before. His final words had provided an obvious end to the conversation, and an end to the questions. Eventually, the Phoenician reached for his breakfast again and began to eat listlessly, carrying a shadow of his former energy. Outside, the wind carried a lashing of raindrops against the glass. I could hear the man's teeth as they bit their way through bread and fruit. The silence soon became too much for me. This man, the German, you said he lives on the top floor? Si, senor. See, that's senor, not signore. Senor Weber, you wish to speak with him? Yes, I am here to get the opinions of Venetians, but I am very interested in seeing an outsider's view also. It would also provide an interesting contrast to the piece. As you wish, I'm sure he will welcome a guest. Thank you. And, of course, I wish to hear your own views again, perhaps on another day. I'm sure the paper chose wisely when they contacted you. They did. I know everything about Venice. Thank you. You are welcome, my friend. I hope you have a good day. My host used his fork to push a large piece of bacon into his waiting mouth. His teeth bore down. That was a weird thing to zoom in on. Ardinio said that Herr Weber lived on the top floor. I'm doing the Ardinio voice. Ardinio said that Herr Weber lived on the top floor. It was early, but perhaps he would be up. It would be worth a try. I know I keep messing up the lines. I'm not the best reader. There was no answer. I'm just knocking on people's doors because of course I am. It's a point-and-click adventure game. No answer. To the top floor. Apartment door. Seemed that Weber was too engrossed in his music to hear the door. Perhaps it would take something even louder than his piano to shake him from its reverie. Can we light this candle? I don't know why we would. Can't see anything special about it. There's something down here that I could use. Vase of roses. I took one of the roses. Okay. Is there something on the other floor? No, that's the stairs down. Ardinio's room, Maynard's room. Walking stick. I'm just gonna snatch this. Walking stick was well used but sturdy. Umbrella holder. I already had the walking stick. I didn't need anything else. Okay. Let's see if a good whack with a walking stick will be loud enough for him to hear. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Walking stick. What are you talking about? Bang on the door with the walking stick. That wouldn't accomplish anything. But... no, that doesn't... Okay, so why do we have the walking stick then? Can we knock on it with a book? Nope. Obviously there is something that I am missing. No answer. I wonder, can we go outside? Witch! Little rat. Murderer. Intervene. Be off with you. Leave her alone. Keep away or you'll get the plague from her. She's a witch, a dirty little witch. She killed her own mother when she was born. Ah! The Bay Bao will come and take you away. The Bay Bao? What did he mean? Are you alright? What's your name? After staring at me with her chestnut eyes, she disappeared into the shadows. I had arranged to meet Don Vincenzo Conti, priest and expert on local history at the Piazza San Marco. That should be my first destination. Here's the Notaro residence. Piazza San Marco, Santa Lucia Station. Okay, let's head here. I've been here. This is a famous area. It's very full of birds. The buildings that surround me were certainly wrought with some enviable craftsmanship, though the locals seemed blissfully ignorant of the city's majesty as they walked past, heads down, contained within their own lives. It was as if the crenellations, arches, and statues were totems to a god that had faded from consciousness. Couples walked hand in hand, or gathered in restaurants, dining together in the feast of St. Valentine. And all I had was a letter. I put the thought to the back of my mind and concentrated on the present and the priest sitting before me. I was in a fascinating city, and there was a story to write. All other matters could wait. Thank you for meeting me, Don Vincenzo. Your Italian is very good. What a lovely... What voice should I do for this guy? Your Italian is very good. What a lovely surprise. Well, I hope so after my many years in Florence. I must admit, I was surprised that I was given the contact details for a priest. But what it is religious knowledge, but simply knowledge of the past. If you are worried about me seeing the past through a particular lens, then perhaps that will be so. But if that circumstance is no... I'm having trouble reading some of this writing, I'll be honest. The fact that there's nothing... I'm having issues with, like, the pixels bleeding in together. It's a little hard to see the words with his face behind like that. I'm having more... I should probably say I'm having more trouble than usual. Perhaps that will be so, but if the circumstances is known, then you can take what you need from me and discard the rest. A rather mercenary notion. Isn't journalism a mercenary profession? Huh, I suppose it is. So, what can I help you with? Honestly, my reason for contacting... Oh my gosh. I'll be honest, guys. I really am having more trouble reading this than I usually am. A lot of the pixels are kind of bleeding together for me. I do actually have a reading disability, but it's really having a hard time here. Honestly, my reason for contacting you was originally more to do with your opinion of the future, and perhaps we can get to this in time? We will get to this in time. But having to be exposed to certain sights, certain opinions, I think that maybe I should look to pass somewhat in order. I should look to past somewhat in order to make sense of what could or will be. Look to pass somewhat. An astute observation. Was there any particular era that you were interested in? Have you heard of a Ba'u? Of course, it is a fairy story. A creature used to scare children. Is that so? How is it described? He is also called the Umo Nero, the Black Man, a tall man with a heavy black coat and a hat. The famous Batu, the costume, the face, is based on this. Parents still knock on tables, pretending that he is at the door, searching for disobedient children. There are also nursery rhymes about him taking children away for a year, but I should say not to harm or eat them. Don Vincencio. But rather to take them to a curious, unknowing, terrifying location. No, please, Mr. Maynard.
What will you eat?
No, I am rude. I did not mean to say it like that. I meant to say, would you like to order dinner, sir? The kitchen is about to close. I stared at the waiter. The square was empty. I am practicing my English. I heard you speaking to yourself? How long have I been here? I started around an hour ago, and you were here. No one else? No, should there be? Are you waiting for someone? No. No. Are you all right, sir? I have to go. Okay. Back to, the Notaro residence. I had no wish to put my hand in the slimy water that surrounded the statue. Fountain was crooked stone slowly eroding in the elements. Alright, let's go back in. Maynard's room. We still haven't talked to the German guy. Well, we should check to see if, he has stopped playing now, since it's nighttime. He's still playing? Okay, let's go. No, I've already spoken to Ardinio. I need a different view. I could always speak to him at dinner time. Have we unpacked our suitcase at all? I didn't need to get anything out of there at the moment. Battered old metal dustpan. Oh, we can pick it up. I tried to pick it up earlier. I must have hit the wrong button. Maybe if we bang the cane against the dustpan, he'll hear? I wonder what the priest thought when we just completely knocked right out. Here we go. What is das? Was it das? I can't speak German. In a minento bitte. I heard the scrape of a chair and then... Weber was a tall man with a neatly sculpted beard and a mustache long ago given over to gray, wearing thinly rimmed gold spectacles over his watery eyes. See, this is actually easy. The boxes are easier to read than the dialogue without anything behind it. Let's see, he was wearing a simple white shirt over gray trousers, held up by suspenders with carefully polished shoes. The sky outside was still choked with clouds, but a white glare of sunlight was able to force its way through, bleeding the color from the surroundings. Can I help you? He was speaking in English with a thick German accent from a region I couldn't place. But then I was no expert on Germany. Neither am I, which is why I'm not even going to attempt a German accent. I hope so. I'm looking for an opinion on... I'm sorry, allow me to introduce myself. My name is James Maynard. I'm a journalist. I'm writing a story on Venice, and I was wondering if you'd be able to, or would like to answer a few questions about your viewpoint on the city and the proposed road. A newspaper. Yes, the Illustrated London News. It's quite prestigious. I have not heard of it. The man's features were inscrutable. I tried to break the ice. You were a military man, yes? Why do you say that? Your bearing and those shoes, polished to a brilliant shine. You are a clever man. Yes, I was a soldier when I was young, and I volunteered in Der Weltkrieg. I was a staff officer in the 1st Royal Bavarian Corps. Perhaps I fought against you on the Western Front, eh? No, not at all. I was still a child then. Of course, of course. That piano must have been difficult to get up all those stairs. Yes, I hired some help, of course. Please don't touch. I can't stand fingerprints. How long have you been playing? Longer than I was in the military. Perhaps I will let you see which of my skills is strongest, ja? What? I mean I will play you something. Perhaps my meaning was not playing. Ugh, I am too old to be picking fights. But anyway, I am sure you are not here to listen to me play De Zauberflöte. What did you want to know? Sure you are aware of the road bridge connecting Venice to the mainland, and the fact that it will soon be completed. I'm sure you are, let's see, it's going to be completed. I'm aware of the building work, but I had no idea when it would be finished. I don't read the newspaper. I prefer military history. Is the railway not enough? Some would say so. I was told before I set out that some within the city even see the rail as being too much. They wish to return to the past. Venice for the Venetians, that sort of thing. He nodded, but I couldn't be sure if it was a sign of agreement or simply an acknowledgement of the fact. If I might, how do you see the city? Why did you decide to move here? Was its history a factor? History is always a factor. The past is... what's the word? Paramount. I agree, details are everywhere. Without the past, how can we know where we truly are? Precisely. What was it about Venice that drew you to it? Well, it is beautiful. Any fool can see that. Beautiful and alive. I see. I don't think you do. Come, join me on the balcony. Tell me what the city looks like to you, and we will see if you understand. Very well. The vista that greeted him was the first real view he had seen of the city, except for in photographs. Houses and shops seemed to run together. Red-tiled roofs and cramped alleyways bisected each other at seemingly random junctures, and the minuscule shapes of the city's inhabitants scurrying throughout the structure like termites. It was a tangled labyrinth of pale brick buildings and green-tinted waters. I see houses, streets, shops, and people. It looks disorderly, wonderful, but disorderly nonetheless. It is so much more. It is a forest, Maynard. Do you think the forests are disorderly? I'm sorry? Ja, a forest. The same as the one that covers Wittenberg. It is not disorder, you see. It is a plan of nature. You cannot judge a city such as this by normal standards. It is unique, built on shifting mud and water. The houses grew. The pathway crawls with shadows and life. There is a creature in every hollow, and a reason within every wall. But houses are built, they don't grow. The difference is semantics only. Trees grow towards light. Their bodies, mass, increases with a clear direction, correct? True, but there is no human decision there. Humanity is not relevant. The separation you see between a forest and Venice is the difference between the conscious and unconscious, but in truth there is no such difference here. You can't be saying that it was built accidentally, surely. It was built for a purpose, but unconscious purpose. It was grown to move towards its own light, it was given direction, a clear rudiment. I cannot explain as I wish. If only you understood Deutsche. I'm guessing that means German. Nevertheless, it is interesting. But maybe not useful right now. I know you have a job to do, and guidelines. I, of all people, can respect that. I will give you more useful words. The old man gave me his opinion, the history, and stories of his time within Venice. All of it pertinent, and certainly good print, but nothing that he said rang as true as that first exchange. That had been his truth, and the fact of that unsettled me considerably. And I double-clicked again. Before I left, Weather fixed me with a stare. I should warn you, many Venetians will not be as forthcoming with their opinions as I. As outsiders, we can never hope to fully understand the dark and beautiful place. This dark and beautiful place. Be careful. The conversation with Weber and the curious experience at the Piazza San Marco had overwhelmed me somewhat. I decided to get some air. Okay. Take a sip of water. The sound of the water lapping at the stonework made my head spin. What had begun as an interesting opportunity was quickly unraveling. My vision of the masked man at the piazza pointed to my condition worsening, but what if it wasn't? One thing was certain, there was far more than met the eye within the city. There were ripples beneath the surface of Venice. Spooky. Oh, that's it? Thank you for playing the Carnival demo by Beyond Booleans. I'm not sure how to feel about that. The bits of spookiness were neat, but I feel like a lot of time was spent on talking about history, which isn't a bad thing. If that's your kind of game, then that's perfect. But I was kind of expecting a little bit more from a demo. This kind of felt... If I was wanting like a kind of eerie game, but wanted to focus more on the history of Venice, then yeah, I would say I would play this game. But if I wanted a horror game of some sort, or something really, really spooky, I can't really say much. Like, I was shown a lot more interesting stuff in the trailer than I'd have in this demo. In this demo, we met a couple characters and all we did was talk about Venice. There was that one spooky thing in the park and the dream, but that was kind of it. So unless people really want to see it, and I mean really want to see it, I don't see myself buying this game. A little disappointed about that. Well, that's it for this video. I'd love to hear your opinions on the game. Next week, we're actually going to be returning back to Rusty Lake as another demo is coming out. See you then. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. This is the Sluglady signing out. Bye-bye.